Hello there, lovely people, it's Alex from Nintendo Life here. Now, if you happen to have been on the internet recently, which no doubt you probably have, you may have heard that Mighty No. 9 hasn't really lived up to expectations. As such, we decided to cobble together just 9 reasons why Mighty No. 9 is only just better than nothing. Quick note beforehand though, we're not saying inherently that this is a bad game, we're also not saying it's a good game, because it really is just a massively mediocre game, taking everything into consideration. Everyone expected it to be so much more. We're not saying it's bad. If you really like the game, that's great. It's just, we kind of don't think it's as good as you do. But enough waffling, let's get right into it. Let's be frank, the graphics in this game aren't good. They're not absolutely terrible either, they're just sort of average. Considering that $4 million of raw cash was pumped into this game, and how long it took for them to make it, you'd think we'd at least get some half-decent visuals to go with it. But no, instead we get something that falls somewhere between PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 graphics. The delivery and dialogue of this title is something straight out of the milk and dairy aisle. That is to say, it's cheesy. This really wouldn't be a problem if it was left exclusively outside of normal gameplay, but often you'll get interrupted by characters warning you about blatant obstacles or the sound of the obnoxious other mighty numbers spouting unnecessary and cringeworthy puns at you. Then again, there's never really been any decent voice acting in a Mega Man game, so at least it's faithful. I love a difficult game, I really, really do, but don't make the tutorial level of your game a total cakewalk when the rest of your game is absolute nails. It's deceptive to anyone out there who was expecting a light-hearted romp, and it just makes the sudden surge of challenge feel unfair. But we'll get onto the more specifics of that later on, you'll see what I mean. Naturally, we're focusing on the Wii U version in this list, so you knew this was coming up. Apparently it runs quite well on PC, but we ain't on a PC, we're on a Wii U, and this thing runs like a dog. Specifically, a dog with one leg. Choppy frame rate, constant slowdown. If the game looked good, I could forgive it a bit more, but well, it looks like a dog as well. Hey, you, looking at the screen, do you like robot things that are robots? I chuffing hope so, because you won't be fighting anything else. Most of the enemies in this game look a bit like they're from Mega Man, but more like Mega Man rejects than original and interesting designs. They've got a decent-ish variety of attacks, but you'll often find yourself fighting the same enemies on multiple stages. It just gets boring seeing the same faces over and over and over again. This thing will set you back a mighty $20, and yet it doesn't really give you $20 worth of content. The main story will only last you a couple of hours, and whilst there are a lot of challenges, they feel very slapped together at the last minute. There's also apparently some online multiplayer thing, I don't know, because I don't think I've unlocked it, at least I certainly couldn't find it on the menus, but from what I've heard, it's a bit meh. Despite taking years to come out and numerous delays, the game kind of feels sort of unfinished. The mechanics in the actual gameplay are super solid 99% of the time, you can't fault that, but the rest of the game feels like it's only half done. Sloppy menus, poor optimization, rigid animation, it all feels very beta. I hate to bring it up again, but you know, $4 million? I am starting to wonder if a disproportionate amount of that money was spent on fizzy drinks and people who hang your coat up for you. Few people complain about a difficult game when it feels fair, but a lot of the difficulty in this game comes from totally cheap ways to kill you instantly. If it's not instant death blocks, it's enemies spawning without a word and knocking you into pits. But you know what makes these constant maker meetings even more difficult to swallow? Easily the most frustrating thing about this game is the amount of time you spend looking at this little bastard. Not only is it boring, but it upsets your flow and just makes you want to hit the home button and quit. But the game doesn't even let you do that! If you're at all interested, you can wait until the end of the vid and we'll have some unedited footage of the loading screens just to give you more of a flavour. You know, if you happen to be a sadomasochist. So there we have it, 9 mighty reasons why Mighty No. 9 is only just better than nothing. Have you played the game? Do you agree with us? Do you think we're talking complete nonsense? Let us know down there in the comments. videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you somewhat disappoint that subscribe button, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
I'm Sub-Zero, you're Play Zero.
Mighty number 9!